Looking Glass and What Alice Found There by Lewis Carroll. Adapted for radio by Hattie Naylor. With John Bird as Tweedledum, John Fortune as Tweedledee, Bernard Hepton as the White Knight, and introducing Natasha Barnes as Alice. Episode 1.
Knight to King Bishop 3.
Rook's pawn move 1 square.
Bishop to Queen Bishop 4.
Rook's pawn move 1 square.
Bishop to Bishop 4.
Rook's pawn move...
Dinah, you're not concentrating.
Dinah, come here. Bring your kittens here. Pawn move 1 square.
Oh, stop playing.
I've moved. Dinah? Dinah?
You're just moving one pawn further and further up the board. That's not playing.
I like the black kitten best. Which do you like?
I thought you wanted to play.
It's not really playing, is it? I mean, it's not much fun. Dinah? Dinah? I mean, if we were real kings or queens, that would be playing.
Pawn takes pawn.
Let's pretend that we're kings and queens and the kittens are pawns. Let's pretend that I'm the white queen and
it's your move.
Where's my pawn gone?
I've taken it.
Knight's pawn move 1 square. Let's pretend that we live in a big palace and that is king and queen.
We can't play 2 parts. That's silly.
Well, you play 1 and I'll play 3.
How will I tell which one's which, Alice?
We could go outside and play in the snow. Can you hear it? Like kisses against the window pane.
It's too cold to play outside. Alice, don't go so near the fire.
Well, let's pretend that... Where are you going?
I don't want to pretend. I don't like pretending.
I thought we were playing.
Chess, not being kings and queens.
It's your turn.
Alice, I think you're still too young to learn. Play with the kittens.
I can learn. Don't go. That's it, Dinah. Those kittens need a good wash. Now, which one of you wants to be a queen? Would you like to be a queen? I could fetch you your crown. Fetch me my sceptre, Alice. Certainly, your kitten majesty. Anything you want, your kitten majesty, ma'am. I can play chess. Now, Kitty, that's not how a queen would sit. That's most undignified. Let me show you. Have a good look at the chess piece. Now try. Concentrate. That's still not very good. I don't think a queen would look like that. All fluffy and droopy paws. Look at yourself in the looking glass. See? No one would fetch you your crown looking like that. Watch me. Look in the glass. See how queen-like I am? You can't really see all of me, can you? Let's climb a bit closer. See, Kitty? See how regal and big I look? Now, if you'll just copy me, dear. I've never been this close to the looking glass house before. All the books are back to front in here, you know. And the clocks go backwards. Time is very different. Everything's backwards, really. And I've heard that looking glass milk, and this will disappoint you, is quite horrible to drink. And they only seem to have a fire when we have a fire. Look, you can see smoke coming from their fireplace now. It does look very real. You can sit as close as you want to, and no one ever scolds you or punishes you, and you can pretend and pretend. It's much more exciting in the looking glass house, apart from the milk. I've seen kittens and sisters and all sorts in this room. And you see that corner? If you'll just look round, where the doors open, you can see a hallway leading right out into who knows where. Let me sit you down, facing the glass, and we'll try again. No, don't do that. Kitty, don't knock them off. Keep still. I'll lose my balance. Kitty, oh! Where are you? Kitty, are you all right? There you are. On the other side. What are you doing in the looking-glass house? Don't drink the milk, Kitty. That clock's grinning at me. What are you grinning at? Stop grinning. It never used to grin. When did you start? Goodness! What was that? It scampered over my feet like a large white ant. It's the White Queen. She does move quickly.
It's the voice of my child.
What?
And the White King.
Precious Lily, my imperial kitten.
I suppose it would frighten them to look up. I'm so much bigger than them. And there's the Red Queen and the knights moving about.
In ashes. Poor little poor. Poor little White.
Hello?
What?
Hello down there?
You let him wander too close. What?
Oh, he did. Did he? What?
Yes.
When did he fall?
Just then. Too close to the fire.
Oh, no use sulking over porridge now.
Oh, little kitten, look at him.
Never heard of the chap, you know. What? When?
He's covered in ashes.
Was he too close to the fire?
Oh, my. Oh, Lily.
Where are you going with that horse? What? When?
You're covered in ashes too, my dear.
Oh, imperial fiddlesticks, what? When?
Let me dust your crown down.
Yeah.
What?
Who? What?
You don't look very kingly, my dear.
That's so what?
You should watch out for our imperial crown
When?
when he's too near the fire.
Hello?
Was he too near the fire?
Yes,
What?
my dear.
Well, goodness, you should never be allowed that near. What?
Hello, my name's Alice.
Who let him so close to the fire? What? Where you're going with that horse? What?
Hello,
Those
my name's
horses think of
Alice.
anything but themselves. What?
Poor little Mike.
I don't think they can hear me.
There's a tree, if ever I saw one.
We're in the sitting room, my dear. There aren't any trees in here.
Did I say tree?
You most certainly did.
Too near the fire, you say?
It's too near.
Did
Hello?
I say tree? I meant leg.
Is there a leg in here? Oh, you've still got ash all over your nose.
Don't fuss so what? There's that leg again. How do you suppose it got in here?
Hello, my name's Alice.
There it is again.
Hello, I've never met chess pieces before. I mean, I've seen them, but not to talk to, you understand, Your Majesty, or Majesties, Ma'am.
What a mess you're in.
A leg, what? It looks like the leg of a very large girl.
There. Who?
I saw a leg. What? When?
Hello, my name is Alice, and I'm a little girl.
Come. Sit still.
No, a giant leg.
Come. Don't say such things.
Oh, it was dreadful. A huge white giant leg with giant socks and a giant shoe.
My dear, you're frightening me, my dear.
Oh, it was quite dreadful. How do you suppose it got in here?
There aren't any legs in here, dear.
It was massive. It was a very disturbing leg. Very disturbing to see a leg just like that.
Come, my dear. Let me brush you down properly. Do keep still.
Oh, huge it was. Huge. What? The way the world is round.
Quite so, my dear.
What? It was huge. Where?
I don't think they can hear me at all. I know. I'll write a note. Ole yum iman si elika dinner. No, that doesn't seem right at all. Ole yum iman. No. Oh dear, that's all wrong. Elika. Elika. Ha. I know. Maybe if I hold it up in the mirror, it'll make sense. Hello, my name is Alice. Which I'm in the Looking Glass house, and Kitty and Dinah, they're at home. Well, I mustn't waste time, because I'm sure to have to go back. Let's look at the garden first. Goodness, I don't appear to be walking.
Look, where you going? What? Wait. Who? No, it wasn't me.
I appear to be floating.
There's an elephant in everyone.
Quite so, my dear.
Look up.
What?
There's two large floating legs.
This is much better than walking. I don't recall floating before.
Look, my dear. Can't you see her? There's a massive girl floating out of the sitting room.
You're still frightening me, my dear. I can't see anything.
Well, you've missed her now. What? She's floating out into the garden? Oh, dear, well, look where you're going. What? Where? Did I speak?
Oh, my dear.
Who? Where?
Oh, I must try floating at home, though it does make one a bit giddy. Now, if I can get to the top of that hill, I should have a view of the whole garden. The path takes me back where I started. I've never known a house for getting in the way so much. No matter which path I take, it leads me back into the house. Well, I'm not going back in again. Maybe if I walk backwards. Oh! Sorry, I didn't mean to crush you. I wasn't looking where I was going, you see. Because, well, the house, every time I walk, it gets in my way. Oh, Alice, talking to a flower. Talking to a tiger lily, even. As if flowers feel anything or speak, even.
They certainly do.
If there's anyone worth speaking to, that is.
Oh, I feel all crushed.
I'm so sorry.
Crushed.
Sorry.
Crumpled.
Really, I am.
Droopy. Oh. We like droopy petals.
Can all the flowers speak?
As well as you can, and a great deal louder.
It isn't manners for us to begin, you know.
And I was really wondering when you'd speak. Her face has got some sense in it, I thought, though it's hardly a clever one. Still, you're the right colour, and that goes a long way.
I don't care for the colour or the petals.
Yes, the petals.
Droopy.
Not like a rose's petals.
Dreadful, droopy, dreadful things.
They should stick up, my dear, stick up.
Not listening.
I am.
Look at our petals.
See? I don't think a daisy is a flower.
I like 'em droopy.
I believe daisies are weeds.
A weed is simply something growing in the wrong place. We're in the right place. It's you roses and tiger lilies that are in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place, you are.
A daisy is never in the right place. You grow all over.
Don't grow all over. We never discerning. We don't grow all over.
Daisies, my dear, as you can see, for there are so many of them. They'll just grow anywhere. Not like myself, you see. Roses are very picky.
Are you a weed? No, I'm a little girl. Is that a flower? I've never heard of that flower. Is it a new flower? No, I'm a girl. You're the weed. You're the weed. She's a weed. She's a weed. She's a weed. She's a weed. Stop.
Shut up, shut up.
I'm withering. I know I am.
Shut up, shut up.
What noise? You know I can't get at them or they wouldn't dare to. If you don't hold your tongues, I'll pick you.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, look. Even some of the pink daisies have turned white.
The daisies are the worst, you know. When one speaks, they all start.
Aren't you sometimes frightened at being planted out here with no one to take care of you?
There's a tree in the middle. What else is it good for?
But what could it do if danger came?
It could bark.
nicely. I've visited many gardens before, but none where the flowers spoke.
Put your hand down and feel the ground. Then you'll know why.
It's very hard.
In most gardens, they make the beds too soft, so that the flowers are always asleep.
I see. I never thought of that.
In my opinion, you never think at all.
I never saw anyone look stupider. As if you ever saw anybody.
She'll pick you.
Are there any more people in the garden besides me?
There is one other flower in the garden that can move about like you. I wonder how you do it.
Because they're weeds.
Shush. She has the same awkward shape as you, but she's redder and her petals are shorter, I think.
Her petals are done up close, almost like a dahlia.
Not tumbled about anyhow, like yours.
That can't be helped. You're beginning to fade, my dear. And then one can't help one's petals getting a little untidy.
Oh, that always happens.
Does she ever come out here?
I dare say you'll see her soon.
She's one of the thorny kind.
Where does she wear her thorns?
On her head, of course.
On her head, of course. Like a crown? Is she a queen?
She's coming. I can hear her coming up the path.
She's very red.
Red indeed.
No tone.
No tone.
The Red Queen. She's grown a lot since I saw her in the sitting room.
It's the fresh air that does it. Breathe, breathe.
I should advise you to walk towards her.
That's what I'm doing.
You'll never be her that way.
I'm walking forward.
You'll have to walk backwards.
You'll never do it like that, walking forwards.
She doesn't know things, does she? Look at her walking forward. As if they ever got your head around. Never.
You've got to walk backwards, my dear, backwards.
Backwards?
I wouldn't talk to her.
Nor I.
She's not listening.
Please never do.
She keeps getting further and further away. I'll do what they say and try walking backwards.
Rook tonight to pawn. Oh, no, that won't do at all. Rook to king tonight. No. Knight to bishop.
Excuse me, Your Majesty.
Where do you come from? And where are you going? Look up, speak nicely, and don't twiddle your fingers all the time. Speak up, don't fiddle. Sentences.
I lost my way.
I don't know what you mean, your way. All ways belong to me in these parts. But why did you come at all? That's the question. Curtsy while you're thinking, it saves time.
Yes, Your Majesty. Yes.
Curtsy!
Yes, Your Majesty.
Don't dawdle!
I haven't curtsied very much before. It's difficult to curtsy and walk, Your Majesty. Ma'am.
It is time for you to answer.
I only wanted to see what the garden was like, Your Majesty.
When you say garden, I've seen gardens compared with which this would be a wilderness.
I thought I'd try to find my way to the top of the hill.
Hill? I could show you hills in comparison with which you'd call that a valley.
Surely a hill can't be a valley. That would be nonsense. Your Majesty, Ma'am.
You may call it nonsense if you like, but I've heard nonsense compared with which that would be as sensible as a dictionary. This is mine. All of this. Well, mine and the White King and Queen's, I suppose.
It's marked out just like a gigantic chessboard, with little brooks dividing it into squares.
Of course it's a chessboard. Whatever else would it be?
There ought to be some men moving about somewhere. Some pieces. And so there are. What fun! How I wish I was one of them. I wouldn't mind being a pawn even, as long as I could join in. Though, of course, I'd like to be a queen best of all.
That's easily managed. You can be a pawn if you like. You can be a white pawn, as Lily is too young to play. You're in the second square to begin with, and when you get to the 8th square, you'll be a queen.
How exciting! When can I start?
Rules. Rules first. Chess is rarely a set of battles. There will be battles, there will be spillage.
Spillage?
And there will be blood. Are you fit? You have to be very fit.
I don't really know.
Very fit for the fight.
I don't really know how fit I am. I'm only a little girl.
The fit will survive and the weak will perish.
It sounds like a very violent game.
It's not a game. Have you played chess before?
Yes, lots of times.
Well, quite clearly, you've never played it fully. Now, how to cross one square to another? The brooks. Run!
Sorry?
Run! Take my hand and run! Faster! Faster! That'll never do!
Oh. But we're not getting anywhere.
Exactly. You'll never cross a brook running like that. Faster! Faster! No, no, no. You have to run much, much faster to cross the brooks. You'll never leave the second square running like that.
I ran as hard as I could.
Hold my hand. We'll try again. Run! Run! Faster! Faster!
I can't.
Don't try and talk! Run! Run! Faster! Faster! That's almost it! Now! Now! Jump! Jump!
Oh.
Easy.
We've got no distance at all.
Indeed.
Well, in our country, you generally get somewhere else. If you ran very fast for a long time.
What a slow country that must be. Now here, you see, it takes all the running you can do to keep in the same place. A pawn goes 2 squares in the first move, you know. So you'll go very quickly through the 3rd square, by railway, I should think. Then you'll find yourself in the 4th. And the 5th has that terrible wind, all hairbrushes and howling, and belongs to Tweedledum and Tweedledee. And the 6th is mostly wool and water, and belongs to Humpty Dumpty. But you make no remark.
I didn't know I had to make one just then.
You should have said it is extremely kind of you to tell me all this.
Yes, thank you very much. Very kind, Your Majesty.
Well, the 7th square is a small field. One of the knights will show you through there, and in the 8th square we will be queens together, and there will be feasting and fun. Well, I must be running. Speak in French when you can't think of anything to say in English. Turn your toes out when you walk and remember who you are. Goodbye and good luck.
Goodbye, Your Majesty. She was quick. I suppose she's used to it. This running is very hard. I don't recall ever running so hard. But if I don't cross the brooks, then I'll never be a queen. And I'd like that so much. What did she say? By railway? Oh!
Tickets, please. Tickets, please. Thank you very much, madam. Right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Yes. Oh, very good. Now then, show your ticket, child.
My ticket?
Don't keep him waiting, child. Why, his time is worth £1,000 a minute.
I'm afraid I haven't got a ticket. There wasn't a ticket office where I came from.
There wasn't room for one where she came from. The land is worth £1,000 an inch.
Don't make excuses. You should have bought one from the engine driver.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
The man that drives the engine. Why, the smoke alone is worth £1,000 a puff.
There's no use in saying anything.
Better say nothing at all. Language is worth £1,000 a word.
Let me look at you. Just as I thought. You're traveling the wrong way.
So young a child ought to know where she's going, even if she doesn't know her own name.
She ought to know her way to the ticket office, even if she doesn't know her own alphabet.
She'll have to go back for her luggage.
She sounds like a horse. And she looks like a horse, too.
You might make a joke about that. Something about horse and horse, you know.
Pardon?
She must be labelled Lass with Care.
Something about being a horse and having a hoarse voice, you know.
She must go by post, as she's got a head on her.
She must be sent as a message by telegraph.
She must draw the train herself the rest of the way.
She must buy a return ticket every time the train stops.
Indeed, I shan't.
She must ride the top of the train and wait till tea
She
time.
must lie still on the floor of the train till noon.
She must think backwards.
I don't belong to this railway journey at all.
Speak sweetly
I was
enough.
on a hill a moment
She
ago.
must eat only
I wish I
sickly
could get
things
back.
and dance in
You
light.
might make a joke of that. Something about you would if you could, you know.
She should
Don't
place her
tease
head
so.
next to a frying pan.
If you're so anxious to have a joke made,
She should
why don't you make one yourself?
She should lie low in 20 different languages.
A lie is as good as a shot.
I know you're a friend, a dear friend and an old friend. And you won't hurt me, though I am an insect.
What kind of insect?
What? Then you don't?
It's only a brook we have to jump over.
The train's going to jump a brook? Where are we now?
On a hill. Can't you tell?
No, I mean, which square? It must be the fourth, I should think.
I wouldn't know. Insects can't count.
Will it always be like that?
Like what?
So sudden. Did everyone else stay in the carriage?
I imagine so.
What sort of insect did you say you were?
A gnat.
Oh,
Don't you like insects?
I like them when they can talk. They can't talk where I come from.
What sort of insects do you rejoice in?
I don't rejoice in insects at all.
Nobody likes us.
I'm a little afraid of them, you see. But I can tell you the names of some of them.
Of course they answer to their names. What's the use of having them if they don't answer to them? Down there in the wood they've got no names at all, and a sorry lot they are too. Tell me the names you have. The insects.
There's the horsefly.
Halfway up that tree you'll see a rocking horsefly.
Oh, so there is.
It's made entirely of wood and gets about by swinging from branch to branch.
It could do with some repainting. What does it live on?
Sap and sawdust. Go on with your list.
We have dragonflies.
Look at the branch above your head.
Oh my goodness, shall I put it out?
That's a snapdragonfly. Its body is made of plum pudding. Its wings are holly leaves, and its head is a raisin burning in brandy.
It smells delicious. And what does it live on?
Frumenty and mince pie, and it makes its nest in a Christmas box. Go on.
And then there's the butterfly.
Crawling at your feet,
At my feet?
you may observe a bread and butter fly. Its wings are thin slices of bread and butter. Its body is a crust, and its head is a lump of sugar.
That's the most extraordinary creature. What does it live on?
Weak tea and cream.
Suppose it couldn't find any.
Then it would die, of course.
That must happen very often. There can't be much weak tea and cream on a hill.
It always happens.
Are you unhappy because you're a gnat?
Well, there's nothing wrong with being an insect.
No, of course not.
No one laughs at insects. I've given up telling jokes. Insects just don't make good entertainers. No one thinks we're funny.
Tell me a joke. I'm sure to find it funny.
You won't.
I might.
Why do houses have no doors?
I don't know. Why do houses have no doors?
Because they're red. You see, I knew you wouldn't laugh.
Try another one. I'm sure to laugh next time.
Why do people queue?
I don't know. Why do people queue?
Because of the hairbrushes. You see, you're not laughing. No one thinks insects are funny.
Tell me another one. I'll laugh, I promise.
Why do rattles argue?
I don't know. Why do rattles argue?
Well, they don't. Was that funny?
Yes.
Very.
A little.
But not very much.
No.
What about a poem?
You're fading.
Oh, it's the sighing. Oh, it always happens.
Will you stop disappearing if you tell a poem?
It might help. Anything to entertain.
Oh, please tell.
There are certain things, as a spider, a ghost, the income tax, gout, an umbrella for 3, that I hate. But the thing that I hate the most is a thing they call the sea. Pour some salt water over the floor. Ugly, I'm sure you'll allow it to be. Suppose it extended a mile or more. That's very like the sea. Beat a dog till it howls outright. Cruel, but all very well for a spree. Suppose that he did so day and night. That would be like the sea. I had a vision of nursery maids. Tens of thousands passed by me, all leading children with wooden spades, and this was by the sea. Who invented those spades of wood? Who was it cut them out of the tree? None, I think, but an idiot could, or one that loved the sea. It is pleasant and dreamy, no doubt, to float with thoughts as boundless and souls as free. But suppose you are very unwell in the boat. How do you like the sea? There is an insect that people avoid, whence is derived the verb to flee. Where have you been by it most annoyed? In lodgings by the sea. If you like your coffee with sand for dregs, a decided hint of salt in your tea, and a fishy taste in the very eggs, by all means choose the sea. For I have friends who dwell by the coast. Pleasant friends they are to me. It's when I'm with them I wonder most that anyone likes the sea. Oh, they take me a walk, though tired and stiff. To climb the heights I madly agree. And after a tumble or so from the cliff, they kindly suggest the sea. I try the rocks, and I think it cool that they laugh with such an excess of glee. Oh, as I heavily slip into every pool that skirts the cold, cold sea. Oh.
You're fading again. Do stop sighing.
Was that entertaining?
Very.
Really?
I can't hear you. She's running very fast.
Who?
The Red Queen. Can you see her?
No, I'm fading. Is she coming this way?
Yes.
All the more reason to fade.
Do stop sighing, please.
Has he gone?
Who?
That beastly gnat.
Yes, he faded away. Poor unhappy creature.
Oh, he's always doing that. Ignore him. How are you feeling? Up to another run? The brook's just down there, you know. It's all wind, the 5th square. Loads of it.
I'm feeling rather hot and thirsty.
I know what you'd like. A biscuit. A biscuit to quench your thirst. Here, I have just the thing.
I really don't want a biscuit.
Come along. You know you want to.
I'd really rather not.
Come along. Refreshing? Thirst quenched, I hope? I knew it. Have another.
No, thank you.
I always eat a dry biscuit before a run. Ready? Sure you won't have another?
Quite sure.
Onward. Onward. Into the 5th square. All wind, you know, the 5th square. Wind like soup. Can you see the brook?
Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
Run. Run.
Aren't you coming with me?
Goodness, no. Too windy for me. Run.
Oh! I can barely stand it, so strong. It really is like soup. There's someone up ahead. Maybe they can help me onto the brook quickly.
You know what's the matter with it? There's no pleasing it. I've pinned it here, I've pinned it there. I've never known my shawl in such a temper. Oh, get out of my face.
Am I addressing the White Queen?
Who? What?
Let me help you.
I can't see anything. Who? Oh, there you are.
Am I addressing the White Queen?
What? Who? I wouldn't call it addressing. It isn't my notion of things at all.
If your Majesty will tell me the right way to begin, I'll do it as well as I can.
But I don't want it done at all. I've been addressing for 2 hours now. Everything is crooked. All pins and more pins. I can't do a thing in this wind.
May I help?
Oh.
There. That looks better. Do you know there's a hairbrush in your hair?
Yes, but can you spot the comb?
No.
I lost it there 3 days ago. I feel it's lost forever.
Really, you should have a lady's maid.
Oh, is that how they do it? Well, you'll do. I'll give you 2pence a week and jam every other day.
I don't want you to hire me, and I don't care for jam.
But it's very good jam.
Well, I don't want any today, at any rate.
You couldn't have it if you did want it. The rule is jam tomorrow and jam yesterday, but never jam today.
It must come sometimes, jam today.
No, oh no. It's jam every other day, you know.
I don't understand you.
That's the effect of living backwards.
Of living backwards?
It makes one a bit giddy at first.
Living backwards? Ah! Goodness, what have you done? Have you pricked your finger?
Well, not yet, of course. Oh, no. Have your plaster. I will shortly be pricking my finger with my brooch whilst rearranging my shawl.
But you haven't done so yet.
No, not yet. Of course not yet. But soon. The great advantage of living backwards, I've always thought, is that your memory works both ways, you see.
I'm sure mine only works one way. I can't remember things before they happen.
It's a poor sort of memory that only works backwards.
What sort of things do you remember best?
Oh, things that happen the week after next. The King's Messenger, for example. He's in prison now being punished. The trial's next, and the crime comes last.
Suppose he doesn't commit the crime.
That would be all the better, wouldn't it? I should say so. Did I say that?
But it wouldn't be all the better for his being punished.
Were you ever punished?
Only for fault.
And you were all the better for it, I suppose.
Yes, but then I had done the things I was punished for.
And if you hadn't done them, that would have been better still. Better and better.
Yes,
better and better and better. Oh, there, you see. The brooch pricked my finger just as I screamed. You see, it's bleeding now.
Yes, I can see.
Oh, yes.
But why don't you scream now?
Well, I've done all the screaming already. What would be the good of having it all over again? Answer me that. Come, you must cross the wood to get to the next brook. But first, let us consider your age.
I'm 7.5 exactly.
Oh, you needn't have said exactly. I'd have believed you without that. Now, I'll give you something to believe in. I am just 101, 5 months and a day.
I can't believe that.
Can't you? Well, try again. Draw a long breath and shut your eyes.
There's no use in trying. One can't believe impossible things.
Oh, I dare say you haven't had much practice. When I was your age, I did it for half an hour a day. Why, sometimes I believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast. Here, we've reached the wood.
I don't like the look of it.
I dare say it doesn't like the look of you, but it's kind enough not to say so.
I didn't mean to offend.
There's nothing in that wood to frighten you, apart from a very large crow, a jabberwock, nasty things with claws and teeth, and 2 rather fat little boys that go by the name of Twigs and something. No, that's not it. Tinkling and Tinklingzy? No, that's... Peter! I think they're both called Peter. Well, maybe not.
I'm not sure I like the sound of the jabber... What did you say it was?
All claws and eating. And besides, you won't be a queen unless you do. And you want to be a queen, don't you?
Yes, very much so, Your Majesty.
And you won't be alone. Quite so. Ah! The White Knight will help you. I said the White Knight will help you.
Was somebody laughing at me? I'll run him through, whoever the blighter is. Is there a blighter here? Come on, sir. Show your mustard.
I'm a small girl, Your White Knight, sir.
A small girl? Is that what the blighters are sending these days?
White Knight, I'd like you to guide this small girl through the wood and onto the next brook. She's one of our pawns, and we'd very much like her to make it as a queen, you know.
I'll kill the blighters first.
Take that stupid helmet off.
Yes, Your Majesty, ma'am. Sorry, Your Majesty.
I said I'd like you to guide this small girl through the wood and onto the next brook. You understand?
Yes, Your Majesty, ma'am.
I'm leaving you in capable hands. Who? Yes, very capable. Capable and capable. Oh, dear, yes, me. Capable to the last. I must be going. Armies to feed and babies to wash. Oh, yes. I shall see you in the 8th square, my dear. Who? Yes, that would be the bread and butter.
Goodness, are you all right? May I help you up?
Did I fall?
Most considerably, Your White Knight, sir. Goodness, you don't seem very stable on that horse, Sir Knight, sir.
Stable? What? Certainly. Come aboard, dear girl. Climb up now. It's quite safe.
It doesn't look too safe.
Nonsense, dear child. Climb aboard. She's a patient old girl, is my horse. I see you're admiring my wooden box.
I wasn't particularly.
It's my own invention. To keep clothes and sandwiches in. You notice that I carry it upside down to keep the rain out.
But the things can get out. Do you know the lid's not on?
I didn't know it. Then all the things must have fallen out, and the box is no use without them. There. We'll tie it up on this tree, shall we? Just here. There. Can you guess why I did that?
No.
For the bees.
Oh.
I was hoping some bees might come along and make it into a beehive.
But you have a beehive or something like it fastened to your saddle.
Oh, one of the finest. Made by myself. But not a single bee has come near it. I think it's the mice.
I was wondering why you have a mouse trap.
My own invention, of course. Yes, it's the mice that scare the bees away.
But you can't get many mice on a horse's back.
Not very likely, perhaps. But if they do, I don't choose to have the blighters running about. Indeed, it's as well to be provided for everything. That's the reason the old girl has these anklets around her legs.
What are those for?
To guard against the bites of sharks. It's an invention of my own, of course.
Oh dear. Any bones broken?
None to speak of.
I'm afraid you've not had much practice.
In what?
Well, in riding.
What makes you say that?
Because people don't fall off quite so often when they've had more practice.
I've had plenty of practice. Plenty of practice. The great art of riding is... Plenty of practice. Now, I said the great art of riding, my dear, is balance. Have you got your arms stretched out, my dear?
No. I have now.
It's all in the Oh, plenty of practice, plenty of practice, plenty of practice.
Covered in mud.
Plenty of practice, plenty of practice, plenty.
White Knight, sir. Excuse me.
Plenty of practice.
You're leaving me behind?
Just keep a grip of the saddle.
I'm not there, sir. I'm here.
Plenty of practice. We'll be reaching the brook soon. Just hold on now.
Excuse me, I'm here. I'm down here, sir. I'm not on the back of your horse.
Plenty of practice. It's easy, really.
White Knight, sir.
Plenty.
Please don't go. I don't know where the next brook is and it's getting dark. I can't see the brook anywhere. It must be in the direction he was going. I'll just follow the path. It's sure to lead somewhere. All paths do, I suppose. Good. There's someone up ahead. They'll know the way. They do look funny, like two large schoolboys. Hello? Hello? I was just wondering. I was trying to say... I mean to say... Could you keep still?
If you think we're waxworks, you ought to pay. You know, waxworks are paid to be looked at for nothing, nohow.
Contrariwise, if you think we're alive, you ought to speak.
I did speak.
I know what you're thinking about, but it isn't so. Nohow.
Contrariwise, if it was so, it might be, but as it isn't, it ain't.
I was thinking, which is the best way out of these woods? It's getting so dark. Would you tell me, please? First boy.
Nohow.
Second boy.
Contrariwise.
You've begun wrong. The first thing to do on the visit is to say, how do you do, and shake hands. How do you do, Tweedledee?
How do you do, Tweedledum?
Oh, not so bad on a fine day.
Contrariwise.
That's how you do it.
Contrariwise, that's how it is.
Take my hand.
Certainly.
Contrariwise, take my hand.
Contrariwise, don't take his, take mine.
I'll take both.
And skipping.
Skipping.
Come along, take my hand. And
Tweedledum and Tweedledee agreed to have the battle. For Tweedledum said Tweedledee had spoiled his nice new rattle. Just then flew down a monstrous crow as black as a tar barrel, which frightened both the hearers so they quite forgot their quarrel.
4 times round is enough for one dog.
More than enough.
I hope you're not much tired.
Oh, no, how? Thank you very much for asking.
So much obliged.
You like poetry?
Yes, pretty well. Some poetry. Would you tell me which road leads to the next brook?
What shall we repeat today?
Goodness! Are there any lions or tigers here?
That's only the Red King snoring.
Come and take a look at him. Shh. Mind those footsteps.
There he is.
Fit to snore his head off.
I'm afraid he'll catch cold, lying asleep on the damp grass like that.
He's dreaming now.
And what do you think he's dreaming?
Nobody can guess that.
Why, about you.
And if he left off dreaming about you, where do you suppose you'd be?
Where I am, of course.
No, you'd be nowhere. Why, you're only a thing in his dream.
If that there king woke up, you'd go out. Bang! Just like a candle.
I shouldn't. And besides, if I'm only a thing in his dream, what are you, I should like to know?
Ditto.
Ditto, ditto.
Hush! You'll wake him up.
And what would happen to you then, when you're only a thing in his dream?
You know very well you're not real.
I am real.
You won't make yourself a bit realer by crying.
There's nothing to cry about.
If I wasn't real, I shouldn't be able to cry.
I don't suppose they're real tears.
I know you're talking nonsense. Nonsense. I'd better be leaving you. It's really getting dark, and I think it's going to rain. So, if you'll just tell me where the nearest brook is, please.
Did you say that?
What?
That!
It's only a rattle.
I thought so.
Is the brook that way?
I knew it. It's my rattle. It's my rattle.
Oh, just keep going.
It's quite old and broken. Is the brook that way?
I knew it. I knew it.
But it's only a rattle, and not a rattlesnake.
It's spoilt, of course.
There's no need to be so angry about an old rattle.
But it isn't old. It's new. I tell you, new. Bought it yesterday myself from the rattle shop.
Why is Tweedledee hiding in that umbrella?
My nice new rattle. Where is he? Where is he?
He's in that umbrella.
Come out from inside that umbrella.
I wasn't.
Come out.
Oh, very well. It wasn't.
Of course you agreed to battle.
Suppose so. Only she must help us dress, you know. Come on.
I'm not wearing that tea towel. I wore it yesterday. No, I'm going to wear that now.
Do you have to battle? I mean, your brothers. Oh, dear me. Are you sure you need me to dress you? I really should be getting along. Goodness, what things they're bringing out. They don't look much like battle clothes. Is that a tablecloth and a hearth rug? What are they going to do with a coal scuttle and a pile of bedclothes?
Yes. You must dress us in all of these.
All of them? But these are carpets and dishcloths.
All of them?
Yes, wrap them round us.
Look, here's some string.
Silly.
Ow!
Tight enough?
A bolster for my neck, please. One of the most serious things that can happen in a battle, losing one's head.
Do I look pale?
Is this saucepan meant to be a helmet?
Please tie it on. I'm very brave generally, only today I have a headache.
I've a toothache. I'm far worse than you.
Then you better not fight today.
Oh, we must have a bit of a fight. But I don't care about going on long. What's the time now?
4:30.
Well, let's fight till 6 and then have dinner.
Oh, very well. And she can watch, only you better not come very close.
We generally hit everything you can see. Battle!
Battle!
Oh!
Oh! Ow! Oh! Oh, that hurt!
What about a poem?
A poem?
You were going to tell me a poem.
Oh, battle and poetry.
Battle and poetry!
'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wave, all mimsy with the borogroves and the mome wrasse outgrave.
Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Oh, beware the Jubjubbird, and shun the fumious Bandersnatch.
I'm not sure whether I like this poem.
He took his vorpal sword in hand. Long time the manxome foe he sought. So rested he by the tumtum tree, and stood a while in thought.
And as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes of flame came whiffling through the tulgey wood and burbled at it came.
Do you know any other poems?
1, 2, and through the vorpal blade went snick-snack. He left it dead, and with his head he went gliding back.
And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. Oh, frabjous day, Callooh Callay, he chortled in his joy.
The sky is suddenly very dark.
'Twas brillig, and
Oh my goodness, what's that? We should run. It's very big.
all mimsy were the borogroves, and the moon drafts
Run!
What is it?
Run, no, look up!
Run for cover!
Where's the brook? Where's the brook?
That way!
No, that way!
No, that way! Run!
Which way?
Run as fast as you can!
There it is. What did the Red Queen say? Run very fast. Very, very fast. And don't speak.
In the first of 2 episodes of Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll, adapted for radio by Hattie Naylor, Alice was played by Natasha Barnes. The White Knight was Bernard Hepton, the White King, Brian Murphy, the White Queen, Tessa Worsley, and the Red Queen, Joanna Wake. Tweedledum was John Bird, Tweedledee, John Fortune, and the Gnat, Ewan Thomas. The Rose was played by Jane Whittenshaw, the Tiger Lily, Helen Ayres, the Daisies, Jasmine Hyde and Claire Corbett, and the Guard, David Thorpe. Other parts were played by members of the cast. The music was composed and performed by Ollie Fox, and the director was Marion Nancarrow.
And next week, Alice has more new characters to meet.
You know all about me, I suppose.
Well, I know the rhyme.
Recite.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty in his place again.
That last line is much too long for poetry.
Of course, I'm not going to fall. No, never.
What is this?
This is a child. We only found it today. It's as large as life and twice as natural.
I always thought they were fabulous monsters. I never saw one alive before.
It can talk.
Indeed, and talk she will at the same time next week here on BBC Radio 4.
Through the Looking Glass and What Alice Found There by Lewis Carroll, adapted for radio by Hattie Naylor, with Ken Campbell as Humpty Dumpty, Bernard Hepton as the White Knight, Brian Murphy as the White King, and Windsor Davis as the Lion, and introducing Natasha Barnes as Alice. Episode 2.
Alice, having fallen through the looking glass, finds herself amongst the chess pieces in a vast chess game, with each square divided by a brook. In last week's episode, she had reached as far as the 5th square, when the sky turned very dark indeed, as a large thing descended, possibly a crow, possibly a Jabberwock, dreadful things with claws and teeth. But Alice, being a resourceful child, ran to the first brook she could find and jumped, and here we find her today, in mid-air, jumping over a particularly large brook, from the 5th square, hopefully into the 6th.
Help! Help! I'm drowning! Help! 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 I'm drowning!
You're doing nothing of the sort.
Help!
Climb aboard. Really, what a fuss.
Thank you.
You've got everything wet. I knew I shouldn't have helped you. Don't drip so.
Sorry. 1 minute, you see, I was in a forest being chased by the most dreadful huge thing with these great big claws and rings, and then I was in a river.
You're in nothing of the sort.
And I was drowning.
People don't drown in shops.
We're not in a shop.
We clearly are in a shop. What are you going to buy?
There's nothing to buy.
Oh, a simpleton.
We're on a river in a rowing boat, and you're a sheep. rowing the boat with 2 very large oars.
Knitting needles.
Oars.
Knitting needles.
Oars.
Knitting needles.
Those aren't knitting needles, and this isn't a shop, it's a river.
We just aren't going to agree on anything, are we? I think you'll have to leave the shop.
I'm not going back in the river.
It's not a river.
I'm not going back in the river, and you can't make me.
Then you'll have to buy something.
There's nothing to buy.
You either leave the shop or buy something.
This is ridiculous.
Ridiculous to you, but a living to me.
Shops generally have shelves and things to sell on them, and are not generally run by sheep.
I see you have a simpleton's imagination to go with a very simple way you observe things. My mother's mother's mother was a shopkeeper. I come from a line of shopkeepers, and all excellent knitters.
Those aren't knitting needles. Those are oars, and we aren't in...
Have you made your mind up yet?
Where did the river go?
What river? Are you going to buy something or not?
Goodness, everything changes here so quickly.
Well?
Well, what?
Are you going to buy something?
Would you be so kind as to tell me if this is the 6th square?
It's a shop.
Is it perhaps a shop in the 6th square?
Might be. Pearl 1, Pearl 2. Are you going to buy something?
I'd like to look all around me first, if I may.
You may look in front of you and on both sides if you like, but you can't look all around you unless you have eyes at the back of your head.
If I buy something, will you tell me what square we're in?
Might do. Pearl 1, Pearl 2. Might not.
Things move about so much. Why can't anything be still?
No.
Keep still.
She picked me up. Oh, did you see that?
Can't be helped.
Soiled ham. Soiled ham.
You there! You're upsetting the merchandise.
She's upset me. She's very upsetting.
I'm only looking.
But if you're only looking, then there's no need to touch. They don't like it.
We don't like it. We hate being touched. How can you even say that word? Touched. Oh, you said it again.
What's the point of having a shop if you can't pick anything out?
Oh, she's going to pick me up. Oh, no. Oh, she's going to pick me up. She's going to look. Stop her. How can I? Distract her. How? Look, showy. Look, showy.
Leah, you know very little about shops.
I'm made of the finest china porcelain. I could look showy if I tried. You could with those pink curly china frills.
How dare you? These frills are exclusive. Hide.
I think I can just reach this one.
Nothing at all about shops.
Sorry? What did you say?
Hide what she's not
I said it's very clear that you know nothing about shops.
Oh, where have they gone?
I told you not to upset them. Are you going to buy anything or not?
Well, there's not much left. There's only an egg.
That'll do. Buy that.
How much is it?
5 pence farthing. Thank you.
What square are we in?
The 6th, of course.
Only 2 more to go and I'll be a queen.
You'll have to get it yourself.
The egg?
I never put things into people's hands. That would never do.
Yes. Well, I'll go and get it then. Stop moving away, beastly thing. Where I come from, eggs and ornaments are perfectly still.
I thought you were leaving.
It's this egg. It's moving further away.
I thought you were going to take it.
I can't reach it. It's getting smaller and smaller.
I thought you said you wanted it.
It keeps moving about, and now it's shrinking.
What's the point of coming into a shop, then?
Keep still. Let me at least...
I said, what's the point of coming into a shop?
What did you say?
What's the point of coming into...
Got you.
Put me down. I'm not for sale.
Goodness.
Put me down. Take your hands off me.
The egg's growing.
I'm not for sale.
How things move about
Put
here.
me down. Put me down. Take your hands off me.
I'm so sorry.
I should think so.
You were trying to buy me.
I thought you were an egg. Are you an egg?
It's very provoking to be called an egg. Very. Some people have no more sense than a baby. You know all about me, I suppose.
Well, I know the rhyme.
Recite.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty in his place again.
That last line is much too long for poetry. Of course, I'm not going to fall. No, never. Tell me your name and your business.
My name is Alice.
That's a stupid name enough. What does that mean?
Humpty Dumpty's a stupid name.
Nonsense! My name means the shape I am. A good, handsome, round shape, with a belly fit for a king. With a name like yours, you might be any shape.
Why do you sit out here all on your own?
Why? Because there's nobody with me. Did you think I didn't know the answer to that? Ask another.
Don't you think you'd be safer on the ground? That wall looks very narrow.
What tremendously easy riddles you ask. Of course I don't think so. Why, if ever I did fall off, which there is no chance of, but if I did fall, the king has promised me, you may turn pale if you like, you didn't think I was going to say that, did you? Yeah, the king has promised me, with his very own mouth, to...
send all his horses and all of his men.
Now I declare that's too bad. You've been listening at doors, behind trees, and down chimneys, or you couldn't have known.
I haven't, it's in a book.
Oh, well, they write such things in a book, you say. Now take a good look at me. I'm one that has spoken to a king, I am. Mayhap you'll never see another. And to show you I'm not proud, you may shake hands with me.
How do you do, Mr. Humpty Dumpty?
How do you do, Miss Alice? Yes, all the king's horses and all his men, they'd pick me up again in a minute, they would. I say, here's a question for you. How old did you say you were?
7 years and 6 months.
You never said a word like it.
I thought you meant how old am I?
If I meant that, I would have said it. 7 years and 6 months. An uncomfortable sort of age. Now, if you ask my advice, I'd have said, leave off at 7. And it's too late now.
One can't help growing up.
One can't, but 2 can, with the proper assistance, leave off at 7.
What a beautiful belt you've got on. At least, a beautiful cravat, I should say. No, a belt. I mean, I beg your pardon. I can't tell where the waist begins and the neck starts.
It is the most provoking thing when a person doesn't know a cravat from a belt.
I know. It's very ignorant of me.
It's a cravat. It's a beautiful one, as you can see. It was a present from the White King and Queen. How's that?
Was it really?
They gave it me as an unbirthday present.
I beg your pardon?
I'm not offended.
I mean, what is an unbirthday present?
A present given when it isn't your birthday, of course.
I like birthday presents best.
You don't know what you're talking about. How many days are there in a year?
365.
And how many birthdays have you?
Well, 1.
And if you take 1 away from 365, what remains?
364.
Exactly. That means there are 364 days for unbirthday presents and only 1 for birthday presents. There's a nice knockdown argument for you.
I don't know what you mean by a nice knockdown argument.
When I use a word, it means just what I choose it to mean.
The question is whether you can make words mean so many different things.
The question is who will be master, that's all. There are tempers, some of them, particularly verbs. They're the proudest. Adjectives you can do anything with, but not verbs. However, I can manage the whole lot of them. Impenetrability. That's what I say.
Would you tell me, please, what that means?
Now you talk like a reasonable child. I meant by impenetrability that we've had enough of that subject, and it would be just as well if you mentioned what you mean to do next, as I suppose you don't mean to stop here all the rest of your life.
That's a great deal to make one word mean.
When I make a word do a lot of work like that, I pays extra.
I see.
Oh, you should see 'em come round here on a Saturday night for to get their wages, you know. And as to poetry...
Poetry?
I can repeat poetry as well as the next man, if it comes to that.
It needn't come to that.
This piece, I'm going to repeat, was written entirely for my own amusement.
Is it very long?
You are old, Father William, the young man said, and your hair has become very white. And yet you incessantly stand on your head. Do you think at your age it is right? In my youth, Father William replied to his son, I feared it might injure the brain. But now that I'm perfectly sure I have none, why, I do it again and again. You are old, said the youth, as I mentioned before, and have grown most uncommonly fat. Yet you turned a back somersault in at the door. Pray, what was the reason of that? In my youth, said the sage, as he shook his grey locks, I kept all my limbs very supple. By the use of this ointment, 1 shilling the box. Allow me to sell you a couple. You are old, said the youth, and your jaws are too weak for anything tougher than suet. Yet you finished the goose with the bones and the beak. Pray, how did you manage to do it? In my youth, said his father, I took to the law and argued each case with my wife. And the muscular strength which it gave to my jaw has lasted the rest of my life. You are old, said the youth. One would hardly suppose that your eye was as steady as ever. Yet you've balanced an eel on the end of your nose. What made you so awfully clever? I have answered 3 questions, and that is enough, said his father. Don't give yourself airs. Do you think I can listen all day to such stuff? Be off, or I'll kick you downstairs.
Thank you.
Don't mention it. Goodbye.
Ah, goodbye. Until we meet again.
I shouldn't know you again if we did. You're so exactly like other people.
The face is what you go by generally.
That's what I complain of. Your face is the same as everybody has. The 2 eyes, the nose in the middle, and always the mouth under. It's always the same. Now, if you had 2 eyes on the same side of the nose, for instance, or the mouth at the top, that would be of help.
But it wouldn't look very nice.
Wait until you've tried.
Goodbye. Of all the unsatisfactory people I've ever met.
Oh no.
Oh dear! My goodness!
Company! Out! Keep in line! Tripped me! Can you take your horse off my leg?
Well, can we put him back together again? What?
There's yoke all over the place, Your Majesty, sir. All over the place.
All over? Oh, is there?
All over.
Is there nothing we can do? What?
Look at the crack, Your Majesty, right through the middle. Right through. Right through.
I see. There's no way we can patch him up.
Oh, it's more than our job's worth.
Is it?
More than our job. More than our job. We're not trained to mend eggs, Your Majesty. Not in the training. Oh, no.
You're not?
No, Your Majesty. No eggs. Definitely not.
Oh, I promised poor Humpty Dumpty. It's such a well-spoken lad.
Look at this stuff. It's all over me hands. Oh, sorry, Your Majesty. I didn't see you standing there.
I think he's an omelette, Your Majesty, sir.
Really?
An omelette? An omelette? Omelette. Right so, Your Majesty.
Oh, dear. What? Oh, dear. I sent them all, you know.
Yes, I can see.
4,207 men. All here, you know.
Yes,
Do you think they're all here?
certainly.
Couldn't we help, you know? Him falling like that, and there's nothing to be done.
No, I can see that. You've done everything you could.
Have I?
Yes, definitely.
Of course, I couldn't send all the messengers. One's gone to town. Just look along the road and tell me if you see him. What?
I can see nobody on the road.
I only wish I had such eyes to be able to see nobody and at that distance. It's as much as I can do to see real people by this light. But keep looking. I'm expecting news. Are you really sure we can't do anything with Humpty Dumpty?
Quite sure, Your Majesty.
Quite sure. Quite sure. Quite sure.
I can see somebody now.
That'll be my messenger. Is he carrying news?
I can't tell.
So, what if we just tilted him up a little, what?
Oh, I wouldn't do that, Your Majesty. Spillage.
Spillage. Spillage.
Your Majesty, sir. Your Majesty.
Who did you pass on the road?
Nobody.
Quite right. This young lady saw him too. So, of course, nobody walks slower than you.
Oh, I do my best. I'm sure nobody walks much faster than I do.
He can't do that, or else he'd have been here first. However, now you've got your breath back,
Yes.
you may tell us what's happening in the town.
Oh, yes. I'll whisper. They're at it again!
Do you call that a whisper? If you do such a thing again, what? I'll have you buttered. Buttered from paws to teeth and whiskers, do you hear?
Who is that again?
The lion! The lion and the unicorn. They're fighting for the crown.
And the best of the joke is that it's my crown all the while. Oh, come on, let's run and see them.
Is there a brook in town? I really ought to be getting along.
There's a brook in the square.
The lion beat the unicorn all round the town. Some gave them white bread, some gave them brown. Some gave them plum cake and drummed them out of town. Does the one who wins get the crown?
Oh, dear me, no. What an idea. I can't see a thing. How are they getting along with the fight?
Oh, they're getting on well. Each of them have been down about 87 times.
Then I suppose they'll soon be bringing out the white and brown bread.
It's waiting for them now.
10 minutes allowed for refreshments. I don't think they'll fight any more today.
Oh.
I had the best of him this time.
Yes, there's a little. You shouldn't have run him through with your horn, you know. Especially as you've only the one.
I didn't hurt him. What is this?
This is a child. We only found it today. It's as large as life and twice as natural.
I always thought they were fabulous monsters. I never saw one alive before.
It can talk.
Talk, child.
Do you know, I always thought unicorns were fabulous monsters too. I never saw one alive before.
Well, now we have seen each other. If you'll believe in me, I'll believe in you.
Yes, if you like.
Come on, fetch out the plum cake, old man. That brown bread of yours is dry and stale.
Oh, yes, certainly. Quick.
Oh, yes, Your Majesty.
What's this?
You'll never guess. I couldn't.
Are you animal or vegetable or mineral?
It's a fabulous monster.
Really?
Here we are.
No, I'm a little girl.
Ah, good.
Hand round the plum cake, monster. Fair play with the cake, you know.
The cake? Yes.
What a fight we might have for the crown now.
I should win easy.
I'm not so sure of that.
I beat you all around the town, you chicken.
Yes, all around the town, what? Yes, my, that's a long way. Did you go by the way of the old bridge past the brook or the marketplace? You get the best view by the old bridge.
I'm not sure. I don't know. There was too much dust to see anything. What a time the monster is cutting up the cake!
I'm doing the best I can. It's very provoking. I've cut several slices already, but they always join on again.
You don't know how to manage looking-glass cakes. Hand it round first and cut it afterwards.
I'll hand it round as it is then.
Hurry up!
Quick.
Perfect slices. Oh, what a relief. No! Cut it all up!
It's all gone.
I say, this isn't fair. The monster has given the lion twice as much as me.
Start the drumming. You had 5 times as much! Start the drumming.
I'll beat you into slices for that.
Now.
The drummers! Start the drumming!
I'll slice you into puddings for lunch!
I'd like to see you try!
Start the drumming!
Now!
Battle!
Now?
Is that Brooke? Oh, what a noise! I must get out of here! Ow! I think I landed on a twig. It is trying, this brook jumping. The 7th square. How exciting. 1 more square, and then I'll be a queen.
Ahoy! Ahoy!
Ahoy!
Ahoy! Check!
Check?
Ahoy! You're my prisoner?
No, I'm not.
Ahoy! You're my prisoner!
No, I'm going to be a queen.
Ahoy! Ahoy! You're my prisoner!
I most certainly am not.
Ahoy! You are, you know.
I'm not.
Ahoy! She's my prisoner. Yes, but then I came to rescue her. Well, we must fight for her then. You will observe the rules of battle. I always do.
Oh! Do be careful. They're resting. Can I get you some water?
On guard! Go!
Ow! Oh, this is one of the slowest battles I ever saw.
That's enough, old man. Too true, old man. She's all yours. It was a glorious victory, wasn't it?
It was rather slow, I thought. I don't want to be anyone's prisoner. I want to be a queen.
And so you will when I see you safely to the next brook.
Shall I take your helmet off? It's nice to see you again, and thank you for saving me.
Have we met before?
You left me behind in the wood, White Knight, sir.
Is that what happened to you? I wondered where you got to. What's that dish for?
It's meant for plum cake.
Then we better take it with us. Help me get it into my bag.
It's tight fit.
They'll be the candlesticks. They always get in the way. It'll come in handy if we find any plum cake. Now, climb aboard and we'll muster our way back to the next brook. I hope you've got your hair fastened well on.
Only in the usual way.
That's hardly enough. You see, the wind here is very strong. It's as strong as soup.
Have you invented a plan for keeping the hair from being blown about?
Not yet. But I have a plan for keeping it from falling off.
I should like to hear that very much.
Now, first, you take an upright stick and you make your hair creep up it like a fruit tree. Now, the reason why hair falls off is because it hangs down. Things never fall upwards, you know. And it's a plan of my own invention. You may try it if you like.
It doesn't sound comfortable.
Nothing
broken, I hope?
All working well.
I think I might get down.
No, nonsense. Nonsense. You're as safe as houses. Help me up there.
ridiculous. You ought to have a wooden horse on wheels.
Does that sort go smoothly?
Much more so than a live horse.
Wooden, you say? Wheels, you say? I'll get one. One or two. Several. Climb aboard.
I'll walk, thank you.
Now, I dare say that the last time you picked me up, you noticed that I was looking a little grave.
You were a little grave.
Well, just then, I was inventing a new way of getting over a gate. Would you like to hear it?
Very much.
I'll tell you how I came to think of it. You see, I said to myself, the only difficulty is the feet, as the head is high enough already. Now, first I put my head on top of the gate. Then I stand on my head. Then the feet are high enough, you see. Then I'm over, you see.
Yes, I suppose you would be over by the time you've done that. But don't you think it would be rather hard?
Oh, well, I haven't tried it yet.
What a curious helmet. Is that your own invention?
Yes, but I've invented a better one than that, like a sugar loaf. When I used to wear it, if I fell off my horse, it always touched the ground directly. So I had a very little way to fall, you see. But there was the danger of falling into it. That did happen to me once. And the worst of it was, before I could get out again, the other white knight came and put it on. He thought it was his own helmet.
I'm afraid you must have hurt him, being on the top of his head.
Well, I had to kick him, of course. And then he took the helmet off again. But it took hours and hours to get me out. Hours and hours.
Oh, my
Oh, oh. It was careless of him to put another man's helmet on, with the man inside it, too.
How can you go on talking with your head upside down in a ditch?
My mind goes on working all the same, whether my head is upside down or the right way up. Now, the cleverest thing I ever created was a pudding between courses.
Shall I help you out of that ditch?
Now, let me see what was in it.
You're very stuck, you know.
Oh, yes, blotting paper.
That doesn't sound very nice.
Not on its own, perhaps, but mixing with other things, such as gunpowder and sealing wax.
I don't seem to be able...
Well, thank you.
What did the cake taste like?
Oh, I don't think it was ever cooked. Oh, no, I don't think it ever will be. But here I must leave you. You've only a few yards just down the hill and over that little brook down there. Ah, but you look sad.
I was just thinking about the pudding.
Let me tell you a poem to comfort you.
I wasn't sad, I was just thinking.
It's a beautiful poem.
Is it long?
It is. Everyone that hears it, either it brings tears to their eyes, or else...
Or else what?
Or else it doesn't, you know. It's called Haddock's Eyes.
Oh, that's an interesting name.
But the name is really the Aged Man.
So it has two names. That's interesting.
Quite so. But its real name is Ways and Means, or Sitting on a Gate.
I think I preferred Haddock's Eyes.
I'll tell thee everything I can. There's little to relate. I saw an aged man sitting on a gate. Who are you, aged man, I said, and how is it you live? And his answer trickled through my head like water through a sieve. He said, I look for butterflies that sleep among the wheat. I make them into mutton pies and sell them in the street. I sell them unto men, he said, who sail on stormy seas. And that's the way I get my bread. A trifle, if you please. But I was thinking of a plan to dye one's whiskers green, and always use so large a fan that they could not be seen. So, having no reply to give to what the old man said, I cried, Come tell me how you live, and thumped him on the head.
His accents mild took up the tale. He said, I go my ways, and when I find a mountain rill, I set it in a blaze. And thence they make a stuff they call Rowan's Macassar oil. Yet 2.5 halfpenny is all they give me for my toil. But I was thinking of a way to feed oneself on batter, and so go on from day to day, getting a little fatter. I shook him well from side to side until his face was blue. Come tell me how you live, I cried, and what it is you do. He said, I hunt for haddock's eyes among the heather bright, and work them into waistcoat buttons in the silent night. And these I do not sell for gold, or coin of silvery shine, but for a copper halfpenny, and that will purchase 9. I sometimes dig for buttered rolls, or set limed twigs for crabs. I sometimes search the grassy knolls for wheels of hansom cabs. And that's the way, he gave a wink, by which I get my wealth. And very gladly will I drink your honour's noble health. I heard him then, for I had just completed my design to keep the Menai Bridge from rust by boiling it in wine. I thanked him much for telling me the way he got his wealth, but chiefly for his wish that he might drink my noble health. And now, if e'er by chance I put my fingers into glue, or madly squeeze a right-hand foot into a left-hand shoe, or if I drop upon my toe a very heavy weight, I weep, for it reminds me so of that old man I used to know, whose look was mild, whose speech was slow, whose hair was whiter than the snow, whose face was very like a crow, with eyes like cinders all aglow, who seemed distracted with his woe, who rocked his body to and fro, and muttered mumblingly and low, as if his mouth were full of dough, who snorted like a buffalo. That summer evening, long ago, sitting on a gate. But you didn't cry.
No, but I did like the poem, thank you.
Will you watch me as I go?
Certainly.
Will you wave?
Of course.
I think it will encourage me, you see.
Yes, I'll wait, and thank you for coming so far, and for the poem. Bye-bye, and thank you. There he goes, right on his head as usual. However, he gets on again pretty easily. Bye-bye, thank you. I hope it encouraged him. And now to the brook, and to be a queen. The 8th square at last. Oh, how glad I am to get here. And what is this on my head? It's something terribly heavy. How can it have got here without me knowing? Let's have a look at it. It's a golden crown. I really am a queen. Well, this is grand. I never expected to be a queen so soon. And I'll tell you what is, Your Majesty, Queen Alice. It'll never do for you to be lolling about on the grass like that. Queens have to be dignified, you know. Goodness! Both of them, side by side. How terribly they snore. Should one wake queens up? I've never really thought what one should do when faced with 2 snoring queens. I don't know whose snoring is worse, the Red Queen and the White Queen. Maybe as I'm a queen now, I could just...
Oh, what? What? Did she wake us? Did she wake us?
I was only looking, Your Majesties.
Looking's enough. Looking's enough.
I'm sorry,
Speak when you're spoken to.
But if everybody obeyed that rule, and if you only spoke when you were spoken to, and the other person always waited for you to begin, you see, nobody would ever say anything. And now that I am a queen...
Ridiculous. Why, don't you see, child? You can't be a queen, you know, till you pass the proper examination. And the sooner we begin it, the better.
I only said if.
She said she only said if. She said a great deal more than that. Oh, ever so much more.
So you did. Always speak the truth. Think before you speak and write it down afterwards.
I'm sure I didn't
That's
mean...
just what I complain of. You should have meant. What do you suppose is the use of a child without any meaning? Even a joke should have some meaning. And a child is more important than a joke, I hope. You couldn't deny that, even if you tried with both hands.
I don't deny things with my hands.
Nobody said you did. I said you couldn't if you tried.
She's in that state of mind that she wants to deny something, only she doesn't know what to deny.
A nasty, vicious temper. I invite you...
Oh, me?
Yes, you.
Oh, how delightful.
To Alice's dinner party this afternoon.
Oh, yes. And I invite you to Alice's dinner party this afternoon.
So kind.
Oh, don't mention it, my dear.
I didn't know I was having a dinner party, but if there is to be one, I think I ought to invite the guests.
We gave you the opportunity of doing it, but I dare say you've not had many lessons in manners yet.
Manners are not taught in lessons. Lessons teach you to do sums and things of that sort.
Can you do addition? What's 1 and 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 1?
I don't know. I lost count.
She can't do addition. Can you do subtraction? Take 9 from 8.
9 from 8? I can't, you know, but...
She can't do subtraction. Do division. Divide a loaf by a knife. What's the answer to that?
I suppose...
Bread and butter, of course. Try another subtraction sum. Take a bone from a dog. What remains?
The bone wouldn't remain, of course, if I took it. And the dog wouldn't remain. It would probably come and bite me. And I'm sure I wouldn't remain.
Then you think nothing would remain?
I think that's the answer.
Wrong, as usual. The dog's temper would remain.
But I don't see how.
Why, look here. The dog would lose its temper, wouldn't it?
Perhaps it would.
Then if the dog went away, its temper would remain.
They might go different ways.
She can't do her sums a bit.
Really, this is the silliest stuff.
Not a bit.
Can you do sums?
I can do addition, if you give me time. But I can't do subtraction under any circumstances.
Of course, you know your ABC.
To be sure I do.
So do I. We'll often say it together, dear. And I'll tell you a secret. I can read words of one letter. Isn't that grand? However, don't be discouraged. You'll come to it in time, I'm sure.
Can you answer useful questions? How is bread made?
I know that. You take some flour...
Where do you pick the flour? In the garden or in the hedges?
Well, it isn't picked, it's ground.
Oh, you mustn't cut out so many things.
Fan her head. She'll be feverish after so much thinking.
That's fine. That's enough. Please stop. Enough, please.
She's all right now. Do you know languages? What's French for fiddle-dee-dee?
Fiddle-dee-dee isn't English.
Well, whoever said it was?
If you tell what language fiddle-dee-dee is in, I'll tell you the French for it.
Queens never make bargains.
Don't let us quarrel, what? You know, sometimes in a quarrel I get so upset I can't remember my name. I got so upset when we had a thunderstorm here last Thursday. It was very frightening. The lightning went rolling round the room in great lumps. It got me so upset that I couldn't remember anything about me at all. Not my eyes, or my mouth, or anything.
Your Majesty must excuse her. There. She means well, but she can't help saying foolish things as a general rule. She was never really well brought up. But it's amazing how good-tempered she is. Pat her on the head and see how pleased she'll be. A little kindness and putting her hair in papers would do wonders with her.
I'm so sleepy.
She's tired. Poor thing. Smooth her hair. Lend her your nightcap and sing her a soothing lullaby.
I haven't got a nightcap with me, and I don't know any lullabies.
Well, I suppose I must do it myself, then. Hush, my lady, in Alice's lap. Till the feast's ready, we've time for a nap. When the feast's over, we'll go to the ball. Red Queen and White Queen and Alice and all. Well, you know the words now. Just sing it to me, would you? I'm getting sleepy too.
Oh, caught between two heavy queens. Wake up, you great weights. I think I can just get out. I can just about squeeze out from between them. How undignified they both look. Nice of them to put a sign on the door for me. This must be the way into my party. I'll try the bell. But which one? I'm not a visitor, and I'm certainly not a servant. I'll try the visitor's bell. There should be a bell for a queen.
No admittance till the week after next.
How rude. It's my party. It's my party you're having in there. Open up.
What's it now?
Where's the servant whose business it is to open this door?
Which door, Ribbit?
This door, of course. It has my name across it, you know.
To answer the door. What's it been asking now?
I don't know what you mean.
I speaks English, doesn't I? Or are you deaf? What's it asked you?
Nothing. I've been looking at it.
Shouldn't do that. Shouldn't do that. Vexes it, you know. You let it alone, and it'll let you alone. You let it alone, and it'll let you alone.
Well, it was Alice that said I would set her in hand, have a crown on my head. Let the looking glass creatures, whatever they be, come down with the red queen, the white queen, and me.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
And fill up the glass as quick as you can, and sprinkle the table with buttons of bran, put cats in the coffee and mice in the tea. And welcome Queen Alice with 30 times 3.
30 times 3 is... let me sing.
Oh, looking glass creatures, quoth Alice, draw near. 'Tis honour to see me, a favour to hear. 'Tis a privilege high to have dinner and tea. All along with the red queen, the white queen, and me.
Could I come in?
And fill up the glasses with treacle and ink, or anything else that is pleasant to drink. Mix sand with the cider and wool with the wine. And welcome Queen Alice with 90 times 9. And welcome Queen Alice with 90 times 9.
I'll never be able to add that up. I'll go in whilst they're shouting.
You're late.
Very late.
Well, it was difficult to get in, Your Majesty. I did ring the bell.
You've missed the soup and the fish.
It's good to see so many here.
Bring on the joint.
I'm glad you've all come without being asked.
What does she mean by that?
Oh, I was invited.
So was I.
I mean, I should never have known what type of people, birds, to invite.
What's that supposed to mean?
For a long time.
I might have invited flamingos rather than cockatoos, or canaries rather than dodos.
Whatever does she mean by that? What does she mean not to invite?
Some of my best friends often invite.
It's a good thing she didn't do any of the inviting.
A very good thing.
There'll be no one here at all.
No one.
My flamingo friend's a splendid chap.
Oh dear, I've offended all of them.
Here's the joint at last. But you look a little shy, my dear. Let me introduce you. Leg of mutton, meet Queen Alice.
Hello, glad to meet you. Had a good day, have you? Congratulations on becoming a queen, and there's something to be proud of there. Now, the last time I had anything to be proud of was...
May I give you a slice, Your Majesty?
A slice of leg of mutton? Certainly not. It isn't etiquette to cut anyone who's been introduced to. Remove the joint. Did you see that?
Oh, a slice of the pudding.
Now, Rachel.
What sort of a queen is she?
Spectacular.
Pudding! Bring the plum pudding!
I won't be introduced to the pudding, please, or we shall get no dinner at all. May I have some?
Pudding? Alice? Alice pudding.
Don't mind if I do. Queen Alice, that would be lovely with potatoes and rye. And I can see you ruling for many Thursdays and lining up the rice pudding.
Remove the pudding.
It was a day like that.
Waiter, bring back the pudding.
Oh, I thought you must have
Now,
made a
I'll
mistake.
just help myself to a little.
Look at that.
What impertinence! There I was being so nice. I wonder how you'd like it if I took a slice out of you, you creature!
You've upset the pudding now.
She's upset all the food.
Make a remark. It's ridiculous to leave all the conversation to the pudding.
Thank you for coming, and I would just like to say, I've had such a quantity of poetry said to me today, and it's a curious thing. I think every poem was about fishes in some way. Do you know why they're so fond of fishes all about here?
As to fishes, Her Majesty knows a lovely riddle, all in poetry, all about fishes. Shall she repeat it?
Oh, Her Red Majesty is very kind to mention it. It would be such a treat. May I?
Please do.
First, the fish may be caught. That is easy. A baby, I think, could have caught it. Next, the fish must be bought. That is easy. A penny, I think, would have bought it. Now cook me the fish. That is easy, and will not take more than a minute. Let it lie in the dish. That is easy, because it's already in it. Bring it here. Let me sup. It is easy to set such a dish on the table. Take the dish cover up. Ah, that is so hard that I fear I'm unable. For it holds it like glue, holds the lid to the dish while it lies in the middle. Which is easier to do? Undiscover the fish, or discover the riddle?
That's a riddle. Take a minute before you answer. Meanwhile, we'll drink your health. Queen Alice's health.
Queen Alice's health.
I can't get my wet foot round this
Oh,
glass.
This glass is too heavy for me. Can I have
You
another?
ought to return thanks in a neat little speech.
Why are we toasting her anyway? She upset all the food.
You should have been invited.
We'll support you, you know.
I'm not toasting
Thank
her.
you, but I can do very well without.
That wouldn't be the thing at all. We'll push you up and hold you. Push her out.
Yes, yes.
Oh, you spilt it.
Can we get a cloth?
I'll push from one side. You push from the other.
Is that hard enough?
I rise to return.
Harder still.
It's very difficult to make a speech with both of you pushing.
Push harder.
Well, take care of yourself. You've risen too high.
Grab her. Grab hold of her hair and pull her down.
Ow! Something's going to happen. I just know it.
Is that quaff coming? And then they put some mint sauce on me. And then they put some mint sauce on me.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
Let go of my hair! Stop! Stop! All of you!
Sit down. Sit down.
And as for you...
Sit down.
I'll shake you into a kitten. Your Red Majesty shouldn't purr so loudly. You woke me, Kitty, from such a dream. How sad to be back here. I went through the looking glass, right through. Didn't you hear it break? Were you the Red Queen, Kitty? Let me see. Let me look closely at you. Were you with me all along? No, you don't look much like the pieces on the chessboard. But you did turn away just then. Yes, you did, Kitty. And you look just a little ashamed. I can see that too. I had such a quantity of poetry said to me, all about fishes. Sit up more stiffly, dear, and curtsy while you're thinking what to purr. Do you think it's ever the same pretending? The same as something really happening? Do you think it can ever be as good as something really happening? When you pretend or dream? If you were only to nod. There. Check. I think. I should run and tell my sister. There's something on the floor. Can you see? Over there. Something glittery. Look here, Kitty. Look what I have. Why, it's a broken piece of looking glass.
In the final episode of Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll, adapted for radio by Hattie Naylor, Alice was played by Natasha Barnes. Humpty Dumpty was Ken Campbell, the White Knight, Bernard Hapton, and the White King, Brian Murphy. The White Queen was Tessa Worsley, and the Red Queen, Joanna Wake. The Lion was played by Windsor Davies, the Unicorn, Andrew Wincott, the Messenger, David Holt, and the Sheep, Elizabeth Bell. The Pudding was Helen Ayres, the Leg of Mutton, Alex Trinder, the Soldier, Kenny Blythe, and the Frog, Thomas Arnold. Other parts were played by members of the cast. The music was composed and performed by Ollie Fox. Through the Looking Glass was directed by Marion Nancarrow.